This is PM Express and we're talking housing. How affordable is housing in Ghana? What is the gap that we need to fill? In the studio with me is Dorothy Kwashi, who is Executive Director of Elegant Homes, and Efriye Mensah, who is also Brands Manager of JL Properties, all partners in the JoyNews Habitat Fair. You're welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
It's an all-lady affair. It's so refreshing to see that. But let me start with you, Dorothy. I mean, Ghana has a huge challenge, a huge gap to deal with. And it's amazing that the numbers keep increasing. I mean, what we should know is that it didn't start in a day. Despite efforts to bridge the gap, the numbers keep increasing. What is the housing deficit now, currently? Because it's only when we know the gap, then we know how to deal with it.
Well, I read a couple of articles, and it's estimated to be between 1.7 million to about 2 million now. So currently, that is the state we find ourselves in.
Okay, that's a huge number. The 1.7 you're talking about has been like for a very long time, and I've always asked the question, are we still at 1.7? No, we should be above that, because I mean, from that time to now, a lot has happened. But Efriye, it's amazing that we find ourselves here. How did we get here? Do you know?
Is it really amazing? Personally, I'm not surprised, because we didn't plan from day one. We knew that our population was going to grow. Then the question comes, what measures did we put in place to address these challenges? People keep giving birth. Some keep dying, but others keep giving birth. So what did we do? And then there's rural-urban migration. We knew all these things from day one. I learned it in JSS. Okay, and so the fact that I learned it in JSS means that it's something that is happening. What did we do to address this? Nothing. I think we took a lot of things for granted. I don't know if we're hoping that, oh, here's what people will take care of themselves, but how do you take care of yourself if the structures are not in place? Some time ago, we know about 24 million. Now, I only dread to know what our population is. I hear there's a census going on, and we will get these numbers.
Almost 30 million.
Do you see this? So these are questions that we need to be asking. What did we do about it from the beginning? Because this is not a today question. It was before.
Right.
And now it's worse, because people keep migrating to the urban areas. For what?
Right.
Okay, so for me, we didn't address this we didn't take things seriously, because we knew the numbers were going to grow. We knew the opportunities were going to shrink. People are complete, more people the universities are churning out more students, tertiaries, everybody wants to climb up the ladder. What did we do? Nothing.
Nothing.
We sat back and folded our arms. And then today we are here. Why are we crying at this point?
Okay.
We have no business to cry.
Certainly, we have no business to cry, but we certainly also have to look for solutions. But if we talk about housing units, we're saying over 2 million housing units. If you break this down, then it means you're going to even get over 2.5 million rooms, not units. So when we talk about housing units, I know it entails a lot. Where exactly, which areas are we lacking? Is it access to land? Is it access to affordable housing? Is it how to put up buildings? Which areas are we lacking, Dorothy?
I think we are lacking in terms of policies. As Efriye said, people keep on migrating to the city centers. And then if you check in all the regional capitals, that is where you have this problem. Ideally, there should be some kind of industrialization in the rural areas where people live comfortably and they are working and they are earning. There wouldn't be the need to basically migrate to the urban areas. And then secondly, too, I think the government should also look at ways of helping indigenes, let's say entrepreneurs who are prepared to go set up factories in the rural areas. I believe the same kind of tax holidays that we give to foreign investors, if we should put that in, that if you are moving out of Accra to go and establish a business and employ certain number of people and take care of them in the rural areas, then you have this kind of tax rebate or holiday. And I believe when some of these things are put in place, at least some aspect of this can be resolved.
I mean, a school of thought will say that you can't, population will always grow. And of course, if we hit it right on the nail that we should have anticipated and planned for it. But what if your population grows faster than you anticipated? How then do you deal with some of these situations?
Which population grows faster than China at this point? No country can take that. China is growing. Do we hear of the same problems? China has grown so much, and even at that, they are now coming down here to offer us help. So I ask again, where did we go wrong? And as Dorothy is saying, okay, we refuse to put in policies. Now, there is some affordable housing project on your way to, I think, out of Accra, heading towards the Tema Enclave there. Now, this project has been there for only God knows how long. Who lives there? Okay, now imagine you live there and you work here. Just take a mental trip, the stress you go through to commute back and forth every day. Okay, that's because, as she said, all the companies are situated in the heart of the cities. And then you go and put these housing projects in the bushes. Let me put it that way.
It could be a matter of space. Probably we don't have enough space in the capital city anymore, so we have to go elsewhere.
Trust me, I believe that when the government wants to do something, the government will do it. You see, because I don't believe in there is no space, there is no space. There is compensation packages. If you identify, you said, okay, here's what. Accra is very populated, densely populated, okay. Now, where in Accra is there land? Okay, maybe it is not bare land. Maybe it is, what you call it, people live there, but it's not overly populated. Okay, but this one will work. Okay, here's what, people, let's move you to this side. Mind you, those who, it's mostly the old folks who live in these homes anyways. They are on retirement. Okay, and the younger ones actually are those who are struggling. Please make me understand, how is this going to help us as a people? So you move these people to the places that they can afford to retire in peace. And then you take these ones, compensate, and then you build.
I bet you it's not going to be an easy task. Have you heard about the adage that when you move old people from where they've lived for a long time, they die early? That's going to be one of the challenges government could face if they want to tread this path.
Government faces challenges any day, and nobody knows who government is. We all say government, but who has come and say I am government?
You and I.
No, exactly. So if they go on this path, okay, trust me. See, I think they take us for granted. People think we are not empathetic enough. We can't think for ourselves. But if you come out and say, here's what, this is a fair deal, the people themselves will understand. But you see, we are not trying hard enough. Okay, we are not trying. For me, we are not trying at all. Okay, we are not, and for me that is where it stands. We are not trying. Nobody is doing anything about it. Okay. Our priorities are misplaced. Look, I hear some of the things and I don't even know what to do with myself. Okay, and now you have people who are trying to, but they are not giving them the chance to. You don't have the space. I get it. I'm a real estate developer. I have bought land. I want to develop. That one to you, let me develop.
It becomes a problem. So I'll come back to you to find out your recommendations or how you think this issue can be dealt with. But Dorothy, of course, we certainly have to start at a point so we can get to somewhere. How do we improve on this situation, or how do we even reverse it?
You know, I think that as I stated earlier, everybody is trooping to Accra. Now, where are the houses? And then you know that all the houses that we build, we also use brick and mortar. I believe we can also move a bit further by going in for some kind of technology where you get a small parcel of land, you can just put up this high-rise buildings and then sell it to the people who really need it. You get it? There's nothing in place for the lower income earners. Okay. If you earn below a certain degree of salary or whatever, there's no way you can afford a property. And then I don't think that our private developers have the muzzle to cater for all these people. Definitely, it's a policy. There should be some kind of social housing policy that will come. It can even be in the form of giving private developers land banks, where you have the infrastructure and everything done already, and then you come into some kind of partnership with the developers that, look, this is what I'm bringing on board, this is what I want you to put up, this is how much I want you to sell it. And then that That can work. But if you're waiting for a private person to acquire land, bring in the infrastructure and all that, I don't think you will want to put up something and sell below 20,000.
20,000.
Or even $50,000, 50,000 Ghana cedis. It won't work. It won't work.
Okay. Yeah. So, if we can see you're itching to
No, I'm
coming. So, how do we reverse the situation? Because definitely we need to deal with it, because we know that we need to leave something for the next generation. What are we leaving for the next generation? How do we reverse the situation?
First and foremost, we need to understand we cannot reverse it.
Okay.
We are too far in to reverse anything.
But at least we can bridge the gap.
Sure.
Now, we can't. Let's be realistic. What we need to do now is to find realistic solutions. See, what we need is affordable housing, and I mean realistically affordable housing, not the affordable housing on paper.
Okay.
That is what we need. And for me, I think government doesn't have what it takes to deal with our problem, because government has too many things to deal with. So since they have real estate developers who have put themselves out there that they want to do this, what they need is support. Okay, what they need is support. Government needs to support them. Okay, and government should just be hands off. I think government shouldn't even interfere in the whole affordable thing, because it's obvious that a ministry, okay, half the time the people who are in the ministry have zero or no expertise in the ministry they are heading, and that is our number one problem. Okay, if you take a catalog of all the ministers, I don't know how many of them will even tell me that, okay, I'm an expert in the field, and that hence my being there. Nobody can justify it. Because if you don't know something, you cannot execute it well. So for me, government, all they need to do is partner with Greater, okay, and all these other housing people, and then please, they should support them. When we want to acquire the land, they should make it easy for us. When we are registering, they should make it easy for us. Okay, when we are acquiring permits, they shouldn't think, oh, here's what, you have some money lying somewhere. Half the people have to borrow to make ends meet, hence the high prices you hear all over the place. You get what I'm trying to say? Because the money is not there. Nobody started with money lying there. They had to struggle to make it happen. So if they go through the process, how do you think they're going to price? They have to get their principal amount, and then they have to make profit. So in this case, how do we even get them affordable housing? We can't. So government needs to collaborate, and they should understand, you can't do this. Leave it for the private people to do. You can't do it. You don't even have what it takes.
So from what Efrie is saying, gives an indication that the collaboration hasn't really been...
it's non-existent.
Not at all.
Okay, so there's no collaboration.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Have you made efforts to bring in government, to let them understand, let government understand, or probably the Ministry of Housing to understand that, look, this is what we have, this is what we want to offer the people, we want you to partner with us? Have you made steps, and what has been the response?
I am a part of Greater. My company is a part of Greater. Okay, and Greater is the bridge between us and then government.
Right.
Okay, now when we have our meetings and everything, nothing comes.
It's always in the pipeline, right? It's always in the pipeline.
Do you see this?
It's always in the pipeline.
And these are, you see, people have been talking about the housing deficit for so long. Okay, so I'm confused here. Why is government not worried enough to step in and say, here's what? Look, do you know how much it takes to register a land? To even get permits? I don't know what it is. There is this myth that private developers are rich, hence they have to pay. But here's the thing, here's the mistake they make. If you make me pay, whom do you think is going to pay?
It's passed on to the consumer.
It's passed on to the consumer. Do you get the sense, what has the response been like? You talk about your meetings, and your company is also part of Greater. What has the response been like?
Aisha, honestly, just as Efrie is saying, you need to be in the industry to understand what goes on, because I can't sit here and say what and tell you what they are saying. But the thing is, you need directives.
Is it that you are not pushing hard?
No, Aisha, you acquire land. Ideally, who brings infrastructure to lands? You buy a land, and it's a pure virgin land. Nothing, no water, no electricity. Sometimes access road is so bad that even though it's been given out on contract, the developer, you have to cough the money to do it every year.
We do it all the time.
Yes. So if you do all this, you bring water, you bring electricity, you work on access road, how much are you going to sell the house? So this affordable thing, I started hearing it when I was a little girl. Till today, it's still affordable housing. So I honestly, as a free estate, we don't know when.
But for you,
I have a question. What is affordable by their standard?
All right, what is affordable?
Yes,
so
what is their
I'll
affordable?
take a break on PM Express. When we come back, we'll look at what is affordable. Maybe you can tell me. Welcome back to PM Express, and the conversation got heated in the studio here whilst we're waiting to come back. And one of the issues we're talking about is how landlords and landladies are taking our monies, how we are working, stressing ourselves out for landlords and landladies. Before we went on the break, we wanted to understand what affordable means. If we understand affordable, then we can know that yes, indeed, we have affordable housing in Ghana, or we are yet, or we can never achieve affordable. If we, can you help us understand what affordable is?
Oh, I want to throw this to the Minister of Works and Housing. No, he should come and tell us. For me, I think government, it's high time government explain to us what affordable means. Because and affordable, how many rooms are we looking at? Imagine I'm here to get married. I marry and then I start having kids. I plan to have 4 at least. So yeah, so if I have those 4, maybe they are not of the same sex.
So you can't keep all of them in the same room.
Thank you very much. And then I'm Ghanaian, and my extended family is very close to me, so they want to come visit. And you give me, say, a 2-bedroom apartment.
You need at least 3.
What good have you done for me? You've actually worsened my situation. So I think they should come out. Government should come and tell us what's this afford. They just explain to us what affordable means. That's all I'm asking right now, because I don't understand it, and I won't even try. I won't even attempt to explain, because I don't know what went into them coming up with this affordable housing jargon that we've been hearing since forever. So, Minister for Works and Housing, please.
Okay, so that's a question for the minister. I'm sure he'll be contemplating on how to deal with it. But Dorothy, you can help us with some answers?
No, I don't think so. Because I've also been hearing, I just mentioned, I've been hearing since I was a little girl. And then a lot of, most of the seminars that we've attended, developer seminar, we've not been able to come out with a clear-cut definition for what affordability really means. You get it? So as a free estate, is it 1-bedroom? Is it 2-bedroom? I believe that maybe if you are given 1-bedroom now, it is just for you to start life. But then as your family gets larger, then you have to move on to a much bigger place, and that would be when maybe you are kind of settled in life and then you can afford some luxury. So 1-bedroom is just for starters.
Aisha, before you go on, even at that point, how much of my salary will be deducted to take care of this house? How much will I be required to pay? Okay. That all they need to let us know at this point. So how much should I earn? Which bracket should I, what should my LSM basically for me to qualify for that? Okay. All these things need to come. Then I can realize, okay, here's what, this is something I want to go with. Because I need to know what I'm dealing with before I can take a decision on it. Else we'll keep on renting.
Yes. Yeah, and of course, the point I was coming to, probably if you look at how much you spend on rent, and you look at how much you're working yourself out, and then at the end of every 2 years, you just left that huge sum of money to go and give to a landlord or a landlady, then probably affordable housing, no matter how expensive it is, you know that little by little you will own it. I'm coming to the point that it's very difficult for Ghanaians, for instance, I mean, an individual to wake up and say, I'm going to put up a building. People think that I need to have a pile of, dollars, or I need to have, a lot of money to be able to put up a building. You are with the real estate. Okay, so let me start with Dorothy. You work with a real estate, you're a real estate developer, and you know how. Should we wait till we gather so much money before we even attempt to put up a building? I mean, how can people muster the courage to put up buildings for themselves?
The first option is to acquire land. and that is another hassle on its own. After acquiring the land, how do you start? Because people will use basically their entire savings to acquire the land and then wait for several years before they start. And in most cases, where they even acquire the lands are so isolated that you can even start gradually, but by the time you finish the house, there's nobody even living there. So you continue renting rather, and then also from experience, building incrementally is also kind of expensive than buying from a developer, because you go and buy this land, you go and build there, there's nobody, you don't even have neighbors, no infrastructure, nothing. You now have to wait for people to come in before you contribute and do it. Sometimes you get some residents who want a whole lot. That has its own challenges. But you know, the situation we find ourselves, if you cannot afford to buy from a developer, then you have to start something gradually. That is when you buy a land. You have to be careful with the land so that you don't run into troubles. And then you start gradually. It will take time and it will take some money, but at least that is what you can afford. So, yeah.
But you also made the point of buying from a developer. I know the hassle you go through when you're putting up a building. At least Mason will take some of your money. They call architects will take some of your money. Laborers, I mean, everybody will have their share of your money, especially if you're the working class, you're in the working class and you don't have the time to always supervise, go on the field to see what they're doing. They'll always come and tell you, we used 10 bags of cement, meanwhile they used 5. So you are building, you're putting up a building and you are also saving some money in somebody else's pocket. So some of us would like to, I don't want to go through the stress. So I'll go to a real estate developer and I'll buy a house complete, and I'm saving myself from all these stress. And there's this complaint about estate developers that because they're building the houses for sale, they don't really use the right materials. Explain to us, is this true?
It's a fallacy. I'm stating it on record that it's not true. Those who do that are the unscrupulous people. They are not they're the mean ones. But any estate developer worth his or her salt, uses the best, because most of the people who buy know what they are getting themselves into. Some, for them, that's the biggest purchase they will make ever, their whole lifetime. Nothing can be bigger than buying a house. So for them, I've had experiences where clients have come in to tell you exactly what to use for their houses. Yes. And from where I come from, we don't compromise. We don't compromise at all. So for me, I don't believe in that. That is why when you are buying from a real estate developer, you do your research. Do due diligence. Do not just go, okay, here's what I have this amount of money, so this is what I can afford. So maybe that may be the case. But by so doing, you are putting your money. This is something you can't take back. Once your pen goes on paper and the money exchanges, that's the end of it. Okay, so you also need to ensure that you are going to the right places. So for me, that it's not true at all. Some people do it, but the correct ones, actually, the correct ones are more than the not so correct ones. The ones that are correct are the ones that really need quick money and all that. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
So
we know people, who have been around for a long time.
So they are well established.
Yes. And she says something about you not having enough, hence you rent. You see, we don't like to explore our options. All we think about when it comes to acquiring housing is, I need to have the money on hand. It's not true.
Right.
Once you are working, and you're of a certain age, you can take a mortgage. That option is, but we don't explore that at all. I don't know why we don't do that as people. We prefer to take the lump sum and go and give it to the, but you see, when you do the mortgage at a certain age, the bank will sit down with you, plan, and then they will just, sometimes you feel, but you take a small, when you are done paying, then they hand over your house to you. But we don't look at that option because we are not brought up to acquire houses. We are brought up to learn. Oh, what's up, you are staying in your father's house. You get to a certain age, you move out, you rent your own small place, and then you are good. If from infancy, we are conditioned to want to own our own homes, I don't think we'll be here today.
But I also feel that probably the system is also not conducive enough. You go to the banks, how much interest rates are they placing on these mortgages or loans you're going for, housing, loans for house and all of that. So probably the system is also not conducive.
Well, in as much as the system is not conducive, what are you going to do about it? Would you keep on paying rent for the rest of your life?
Dorothy, would you keep on paying rent for the rest of your life?
No, mortgages are available. Once you qualify, you can always go and then take a look and then Jojo, it's still better because that one you'll be paying monthly and still be in the house, because then the mortgage company will pay everything and then will spread it out, some between 10 to 15 years for you.
But the interest is huge.
If you want to think of the interest, then you never buy.
Yeah.
Because you can't eat your cake and have it. Okay. You get it. You just have to calculate how much are you going to spend every 2 years on rent. And then don't forget, you don't even have your peace of mind.
Okay.
You get it.
Okay, so let's look at your companies, Elegant Homes and JL Properties. Let me start with you, Afriye. How can your company, or what does your company offer in the first place?
We offer homes.
Okay.
Homes in very secure locations, and I always say we have our houses in the heart of the city, of the cities. Let me put it that way, because we don't just have houses in one place. We have houses in Accra, basically every urban area in Accra. So we offer really good homes and affordable homes. Yes, I always me. Affordable is affordable. Yes, and then and then we have very flexible payment terms. And for us, when you buy a home, you don't just get a home. We set you off nicely. So all our rooms are en suite. So all our bedrooms are en suite. So you have your own washroom, and then we give you an extra guest washroom downstairs for your guests. Now we also give you a fully fitted kitchen. Okay. And then we give you wardrobes in the rooms as well. If you look at the location of our homes, we are in Achimota, behind the new station. That's where we are, and that is like a short drive from here. And then we are in East Legon, Wija, East Airport, Sakumono. Yeah, so yeah.
Well, these areas look to me like very expensive areas, but we'll come to that. Dorothy, what does Elegant Home offer?
Well, we offer homes as well, and we are also into general construction. We take projects from institutions. We've done quite a number. We've worked for University of Professional Studies. We built their library complex and their lecture block. We also just handed over a 3-story regional administrative office for Lands Commission. We also have properties in East Legon. We are also into the sale of high quality UPVC windows, doors and accessories. And then our premier gated community is located at Katamanso. Katamanso is off the Adenta Dodua Road, and then this is where Accra is heading towards to. The city center is basically choked, where we offer 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, and then what we also do is that we customize for clients. For example, Aisha, you can walk in and then choose any design of your choice, any design that we have put up and have it modified for you, or we can sit down and do a tailor-made service for you. We also have good flexible terms of payments, and I would say our prices are reasonable.
I like that, where she ended. So both of them have suite packages. They have reasonable prices, flexible payment terms, and affordable housing. So how affordable is affordable? Take a break. When we come back, we'll get to know that. Welcome back to PM Express, and we're talking housing. You and I know how stressful it is to get housing or to get a place to lay your head in Accra. And you know that housing is a basic amenity, so it becomes very worrying if the ordinary Ghanaian is not even getting a place of comfort to lay his or her head. I have 2 ladies, wonderful ladies here. They know all about housing, and they will tell us how we can own a house. Before we went on the break, we're talking about affordable housing, how you both have very sweet packages for us, and you talked about flexible pay terms. You talked about affordable pricing. So I want to find out from you, Free, how affordable is affordable? What is the least price I can get from you? Imagine I wanted a house from you.
Actually, very affordable. Very, very affordable. Very affordable. I would desist from mentioning because,
some of your prices.
Yes, no, not really. Like, it's not, because what I realize is most people do not understand what it goes in.
Okay.
Now, the price we give you is not just. It's not just the price. A whole lot goes into
it.
that.
Right.
So what we usually advise is that the first step for you is to even conceive the idea that one day I want to own this. And me, I'll advise anybody who wants to own a house that please buy outright. Okay. Find a correct developer and buy. So you can start saving up, yes. And when you get to a point and then you can't, you take whatever little money you have, you get a mortgage, add onto it, and then you buy outright. Save yourself the hassle, this land guard wahala, this building access road, getting electricity, getting water, even security. And now, for you to even acquire land, you don't get a land in the city, you get it in the bushes.
Right.
Now, you need, it's actually one with trees, so you don't have to uproot, you don't have to grade, dig your foundation, fill it in. Your cost, get a caterpillar to go there, carry the sand, carry the stones, carry the workers.
Even the land guards will take half of the money.
Oh, this is assuming that you got it litigation free. Okay. But then look at it. Maybe you go like maybe say somewhere outside Accra, transporting laborers there, transporting materials there, transporting equipment there, and you will finish this house in 5 years, give or take, because you see, building a house is actually very expensive, so you do it so you may start foundation, you pause. By the time you go back, winter over, you have to start afresh again. So why don't you save this money up? When you get to a point, come, let's have a conversation. We'll give you a very affordable house.
Okay.
In a place where you won't have to stress.
Right.
At all.
Dorothy, what goes into the pricing?
A lot goes into pricing of a house. As I said, different people build in different ways. You get it. Maybe the 3-bedroom I will build will differ from the 3-bedroom you will build, because we developers use technical people to build. You have structural engineer on site, you have engineers who are supervising, and so we make sure we use the right materials, and all this add on to the cost. So a lot goes into it, the materials used, the labor and everything, the infrastructure. So when people ask of just the price and you mention the price, it's like they look at the price, but they don't look at what goes into actually having that nice building. So basically that is what goes into a property.
Okay, so definitely the taste or the kind of house I want, my choice of house would go into the pricing. Do people tell you what kind of materials they want you to use to put up those buildings for them, or they just come? Do I have that opportunity?
Yes, you do. And for me, it depends on your pockets, because if you come and you don't want the standard, you want more. You get instances where somebody will come, will tell you, I want you to give me a tailor-made service. A tailor-made service is basically different from a standard house that has been built. If you are telling me you want a tailor-made, you want me to use granite, you want 4 bedrooms up, 2 master bedrooms, 1 up, 1 down. You want a jacuzzi, you want a CCTV, you know, like the castle that is showing. I mean, you got to pay for it.
So you pay more.
Comfort is expensive.
Right.
So, but if you want the basic one, as a free said, those ones are reasonably priced.
But the fact that they are reasonably priced doesn't mean that they are under par. No, they are not substandard. No.
Okay.
There is a level. Okay. So we peg every development at a certain level. If you want to go beyond, we will do that for you, but it comes at a fee.
At a cost.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So of course, these and many more are the reasons why people should make themselves available at the Habitat Fair to get to know more on how to own your own house. What should we expect at the Habitat Fair every year?
A lot of education.
Okay.
Because we realize that for us the biggest deficit we have is education. Most of us do not know what it takes or what it means to acquire a house. So we are very ill-informed. So we are never able to take correct decisions on how to acquire homes. So we are giving out a lot of education. That is the first and foremost. Now, I'll say that even if you have a home or you don't have a cut across, just come and get education on it. Because if you have a home, maybe you didn't build it correctly. If you are building, maybe you are not doing something right. So come and find out from the experts how it is done. Okay, and then how to do it such that your house doesn't break down at a point. When you're, oh, you just have a big sign and everything just comes down. It's actually said, you see, building a house is not just, oh, big foundation, put everything there. Now, from the conception stage, how you want it done, what metal rods to use, what kind of blocks to use. You don't use any kind of block for anything.
Not at all.
Okay, there are blocks for every single thing. The blocks you use for the building itself is different from the blocks you use for the walls. Okay, and the materials need to be in tandem. They need to communicate. You don't just because, okay, this is beautiful. No, you don't do that. So it's a painstaking process. So people should expect a lot of education. And for me, that is the key. If you understand something, you're good to go.
Dorothy, what should we expect at the Habitat Fair?
Well, I also want to encourage viewers to come and ask all your questions, inquire and get to know how and when and how you can actually own a home. It is not just about digging foundation and building. It's about getting to know the materials used, the iron rods to use, even the land that you want to buy. Is it a flood-prone area? What needs to go into it? A whole lot. So it is just not about buying. Come out from your homes. Tomorrow is a holiday. Come and have all your questions answered.
Come and have all your questions answered. Well, that's how we wrap up PM Express tonight. But let's continue the conversation at the JoyNews Habitat Fair, because it is undoubtedly the biggest housing solution center in Africa. JoyNews Habitat Fair 2018 will provide a central point for exhibitors, building consultants, and the general public to get solutions about housing and its accessories, drawing in about 8,000 people throughout the fair. Remember, it's happening tomorrow at the Providence Event Center at the Trade Fair Center from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and ends on Sunday. You certainly must be part of this. Thanks so much, Dorothy and Free for coming. And you at home, thank you so much for watching. On Monday, same time, God willing, we shall be here to do it all over again. My name is Aisha Ibrahim.